back for another review. Today we're going to talk about, it's not a reboot, it's not a sequel, kind of, it's somewhere right in between. So let's talk about James Gunn and why he did the Suicide Squad.
But those people keep a moving, and that's why.
James Gunn, the Suicide Squad actually happened because he was fired from Marvel after lunatics found some tweets that he had done several years ago and decided to say, hey, look what he wrote back then. And apparently that matters right now. So he got picked up by Warner Brothers and they let him do this hard R-rated movie. And the story of the movie is we have the Task Force X, the Suicide Squad, going to the nation, the fictional nation of Cortos Maltese to destroy Project Johan and the Starro Project. And that's the story of the movie. This is not a complex movie. As far as story-wise go, it is a complex movie where characters go, though. I want to go through the bad first before I start gushing about how much I enjoyed this movie. One of the bad things about it is the movie's humor. You can tell it's trying its hardest to be funny, but I'm not gonna lie, I never really laughed that much at the movie. I giggled, I snickered. There's one joke where the Task Force X invade an army, and when you get to the end of this long battle sequence, there's a huge joke about what's really just happened. And the other two problems I have with the movie all revolve around one character, and that's Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. Everyone knows I really disliked Birds of Prey. I thought it was a pretty badly told and not really a well character-driven movie. This movie doesn't do that much better. The movie is 2 hours and 15 minutes, by the way. And you actually have to stay all the way through it because there is a credit scene after, there is a post-credit scene after all the credits. So you kind of have to stay there, at least the first time you see it, all the way through, literally. The problem with Harley Quinn's character, she really, for the most part of the movie, has nothing to do with the actual movie. Yeah, there's a huge subplot with her that you can have really lifted out where she meets the president of Corto Maltese, and the movie wouldn't change it in the slightest. You would need a little bit of changing between the connective tissue of the movie, but literally that whole, I want to say 5-10 minute scene could have been lifted out and nothing would have changed really. Also, she's strangely not funny. And I don't think anyone's really gotten her. I know everyone loves Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, but in all honesty, she's three different characters between Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey, and this movie. And it's kind of distracting. Yeah, it's probably a good thing that Margot Robbie's going to give up Harley Quinn for a little while. Let someone else try to figure out what to do with this character. So yeah, that's the bad part. Humor's not that good. There's a whole scene with Margot Robbie that didn't really need to be there. And she does a lot of bad jokes. Alright, let's get to the good part now. This movie is amazingly gory. So that's a warning if you are not ready for a superhero movie. That is a hard R. You will know what you're in for in the first 10 minutes of this movie. You will know whether you're on board or, you know what, there's a bit too much blood and cursing in this movie for me. If you're good with the first 10 minutes, you will enjoy the rest of the movie. I love the soundtrack for this movie. I actually think this soundtrack is a lot better than the Guardian soundtrack. Just by the music they play, I thought the soundtrack was amazing. You know the movie is going to be good when it starts off with a Johnny Cash song. They start playing the live version of Folsom Prison Blues. And it works. And I like the fact that throughout the movie, the music is not only playing for the audience, but it's also playing for the characters. And I do like the sound textures that you can tell that not only is the audience hearing the song, but the characters are listening to it as well. I thought that was a very nice touch by the sound designers and James Gunn. Alright, I'm going to break the likes also into characters. It's 5 characters I want to talk about. There are tons of characters. If you've seen the trailer and haven't seen the movie yet, yes, there are more. These are my 5 that I want to talk about because they're the ones I like the most. Alright, at number 5, we have Rick Flag. Joe Kinnaman returns from the first Suicide Squad, and he is 1,000 times more likable in this movie, and he gets to do a lot more in this movie, especially heavily in the third act. He's a very integral part of what's going on and a lot of what happens forward. Even the third act is kind of very long, but that's not a bad thing in this movie. And he really gives it his all, Joe Kinnaman, in this movie, and it makes you think, wow, he was so wasted in the first one. So that's my number 5. Number 4, King Shark. I know a lot of people love him in this movie, and I did too. I think he has a lot of subtlety in what's actually going on with him, especially with the voice of Sylvester Stallone. There's a lot more to what's going on with him than you would think. There are a lot of quiet scenes where he's just reacting to stuff, and it's kind of hard to tell at times because he is a CGI character and he's a shark face. But if you do get the little details about what's going on with his mind and how he interacts with the group and what he's really looking for, you'll get a lot out of his character. Number 3, Peacemaker. I found him John Cena very grating in the trailers, and he is kind of here. Yes, he gives deadpan humor, and a lot of it doesn't land. But his portrayal of the Peacemaker, and whether it's the physicality, there are a lot of jokes of his that are pretty good. And once again, I'm going to go back to this a lot of times. The third act, he really comes into his own, where you can see him fighting not only his own beliefs, but what his actual mission is. He's very interesting, and hate to say this, but John Cena really shows range when he has to go against what he's supposed to be doing and what his mission is and his true beliefs are. So oh my god, there's a scene with him, and mostly, once again, in the third act, especially when he has to act against Flag. Amazing. He does have a nice little funny back and forth with Idris Elba's character with Bloodsport. Kind of makes up like the first 2/3 of the movie. Number 2, Bloodsport, Idris Elba's character. A lot of people complain that this is basically the same one as Deadshot, for Will Smith's character from the first one, and he is, but he fits so much better here, and you can tell James Gunn really wanted to take care of this character and make him more of what Will Smith couldn't be. And Idris Elba plays it well. Wow, he is so fun, he is so grounded, and he really is what Amanda Waller wants him to be at the beginning of the movie. I was very shocked by this performance. And number 1, Ratcatcher number 2. I know nothing about any of these characters. Ratcatcher number 2 though, oh my god, she is the heart and soul of the movie and the team. She has so many scenes. She's actually the most quotable person in this movie. Well, her and her father, played by Taika Waititi, Ratcatcher 1. I absolutely adored her. I liked her relationship with Nanaue, King Shark, and I liked her relationship with Bloodsport. She really put this to help, gel this team together with her not only her simple mindset, but just the way that she refuses to see the bad in people. She is a lot of fun, and I did not expect that in this movie. The young lady who plays, I can't remember her name off the top of my head right now, really deserves a lot of credit for this. I think James Gunn wrote a really good movie. I highly recommend this, not only for people who like the Suicide Squad idea, but also for anyone who likes any of these actors, and also for anyone who likes comic book movies. But remember, this is a hard R, and you will learn that at the beginning. But I highly recommend it. I love the soundtrack, I love the characters, the action scenes are really a lot of fun, so go out of your way to see this. I will give the Suicide Squad, which I think they shouldn't have named it, a 9. This might be one of my favorite movies of the year. It was a lot of fun, and I did not expect to come out of the movie theaters enjoying this movie this much. That's all I kind of have to say for this movie. I hope to be doing more movie reviews soon, but it depends on everything else. Thanks for watching, and until next time.